Brothers and sisters in Christ, in my sermon 3 weeks ago, I started with the Greek philosopher Socrates, who said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Today, I will start with a Chinese proverb about similar point of seeking truth. Here it is. He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask remains a fool forever. And here are some fascinating fun facts that I will share with you about China. Did you know that the world's largest producer of apples, fruit, is China? And 14 countries share a border with China. That's quite a lot. In China, there is a type of tea called white tea. Have you heard of white tea? Yes? I haven't. This is the first time. Which is actually simply means boiled water. Is that the one? White tea is boiled water. So now when you go to a restaurant, can I have white tea, please? They may not know what it is, but in China they will. China manufactures 60% of world's bicycles. And according to economists, China will become the world's wealthiest nation by the year 2012. That is next year already. So, thinking of migrating to China may not be so easy. They probably won't take in more because so many people already. Well, now that we are more in tune with China, let us take a look at the Chinese New Year. Every New Year, people want to start anew, start afresh. That is why we like to buy new clothes and even new furniture in preparation for the Chinese New Year. Now, I had an eye-opener experience regarding this about 2 weeks ago. One morning, as I was rushing down our apartment in Mei Ling Street to come here to celebrate Mass in the morning, I noticed a chair tucked in a corner near the garbage dump area. One look at it, I know that I liked it. It was a beautiful, rather antique, Chippendale-looking wooden chair with simple carving, not too elaborate. With a little change of upholstery, it can look brand new. But then I thought, who would throw away something good? There must be something wrong with this chair. And because I was pressed for time, I didn't bother to take a closer look and continued walking. Later on, I told someone about this experience, and this person told me that I should have taken the chair because there is a custom here to replace some good furniture with a new one in order to bring more luck for the new year. Now, I didn't know about that. You see, for some of you who don't know, I came from Indonesia and I grew up at the time when Chinese culture and customs was repressed after the failed coup by the Communist Party in 1965. So all the Chinese newspaper, Chinese school, Chinese books, Chinese culture celebrations not allowed. So I was not familiar with it. Now I am more familiar. So next year I will open my eyes for chairs. And I know where to look for them too, tucked in a corner somewhere. Well, I'm catching up with the Chinese customs and culture here in Singapore. An experience like this prompted me to observe more. Anything about Chinese New Year in the newspaper or internet attracts my attention. Recently, I read an article in the newspaper about the do's and don'ts for Chinese New Year. I know that most of you are familiar with it, but for people who may not know them like myself, I don't know about Father Suyono, maybe he knows already, he's been here for many years. Let us go over them a little bit. The do's. Do hang up chun lian, or spring couplets at the main door. Do give 2 or 4 oranges when visiting friends and relatives. Always must be even number. Good luck. Odd number, odd luck. Yeah, it's maybe supposed to be Cantonese in origin because the word come sounds exactly like the word for gold, also come, I was told. Come. Another do's. Do buy new clothes and shoes as signals of a fresh start. Now, start business, shoe and clothes business before Chinese New Year. Surely we'll have buyers. Now the don'ts. Don't sweep your home on New Year Day. Don't wear anything black as it brings bad luck. I know those who are wearing black are not Singaporeans. Perhaps. Don't use sharp instruments as it also brings bad luck. And don't break items such as cups, glasses or mirrors, as it is an omen that the family will split or there will be death in the family. Now, this age-old tradition, brothers and sisters, must be respected. And I believe that at the core of it is a wish for good things to happen and bad things avoided. These are things that everyone with a right mind would wish, isn't it? Even Jesus didn't want death to occur. He cured many people with illness and raised quite a few from death. In his own anguish at the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, take this cup of suffering from me." He didn't want it. Who would want bad luck, bad things to happen? No one. Nevertheless, an observation a few days ago gave me a new insight into the way Catholics see these old age Chinese customs. As the Mandarin Mass for Chinese New Year was about to begin a few days ago, I saw a group of people standing outside the sacristy around that area there with various offerings in their hand. There were all kinds of beautiful new, I suspect there must be new clothes, flower bouquet, fruits, even peanuts. And then I noticed one lady who was wearing a beautiful black Chinese jacket, black. So because I have read the do's and don'ts, I asked her, "Isn't it not advisable to wear black today, especially during offering?" She replied this way, "Yes, but take a good look. There are colorful embroideries on this black jacket, and that means it's okay." Well, I had no choice but to believe her. Maybe it sounds like an excuse, but I saw something else, something deeper in this remark of hers. She has put a new meaning into the tradition. More importantly, as a Christian, she is not bound by the fear of the don'ts that other people may try to follow to the tiniest detail. A red shirt or clothes must be completely red, not even one single dot of black. Some people may do to that extremes, because they are afraid that it will cause them harm if they don't follow. But this lady was not afraid. This simple daily decision making shows a lot about our faith, about the blessing and freedom we receive from Jesus, who has come and liberate us from any kind of bondage of fear, even the fear of death. He has taken it away. Let us take a look at what today's scriptures tell us about the do's and the don'ts that are also worthy for us to pay attention to. Let us take a look at the first reading. An all-time favorite question is this one: why is God not answering my prayer? I've been praying and praying and praying, and He doesn't seem to be listening. Well, the Lord gives a blunt answer to this through His prophet Isaiah. Here it is. Fast by sharing your food with the hungry. Bring to your house the homeless. Clothe the one you see naked. And do not turn away from your own kin. Then you will call, and Yahweh will answer. You will cry, and He will say, I am here. Now let us take a look at the second reading. St. Paul reveals a necessary attitude towards ourselves and towards God. How wise it is to trust in the Lord. This is what he said: I myself came weak, fearful, and trembling. My words and preaching were not brilliant or clever to win listeners. It was rather a demonstration of spirit and power, not of human wisdom, but of God's power. In this era, brothers and sisters, we have been quite lucky to have remarkable popes, intelligent, multi-talented, and yet God-fearing. But there are many, many more intelligent and multi-talented people in the world, and perhaps much better than these popes of ours. What set these shepherds apart is that they do not rely on their power alone, but they rely on God's power. Brothers and sisters, we do not follow our church leaders because they are extraordinarily brilliant or full of charisma and talents, but because they speak the truth of Jesus. Take a look at our first Pope, Peter. It is clear as a day that he was far from perfect. But God empowered him to be the leader, and even the highly educated Paul of Tarsus recognized this simple fisherman's leadership in the church. What do these lead us to? All these mean to tell us that weak as we are all worthy to be His disciples and His missionaries. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. In closing, I would like to leave you with something quite amazing to ponder, because Jesus has given us a much simpler do's and don'ts to follow. They are very basic and a lot easier to remember also. Here they are, the do's from Jesus. Do love your God with all your heart and all your mind. Do love one another as He has loved us. And now the don'ts. Don't worry of your needs. God knows you need them. Don't be afraid. I will be with you until the end of time. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord let His face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord uncover His face to you and bring you peace. Happy Chinese New Year.